Adventures of Sonic Episode 61, Fast and Easy. Sonic and Tails hide behind a yellow bush and see a top secret trap by Scratch, as Scratch gets a crate dropped on him predictably. That's another thing, the slapstick is always kind of predictable too, because it has a set pattern to it. Tails says that something top secret should be really dangerous, and Sonic can't just go around them because curiosity got the better of him, and he's gotta find out what the crate has inside. Logically, that kind of behavior should get him killed one of these days. Though, of course, if the show is going by logic, all of the militaries of the world would have ganged up on Robotnik and defeated him already, because they know where his base is. Scratch wants Sonic to walk on something, and then the crate would close in on him when he thinks it's part of the scenery. Scratch and Grounder try to make Sonic think they aren't setting a trap for him, and they actually call him a has-been. Like, normally, I would be assuming that they were just trying to trick him. But here, they're not. Sonic is hurt, and he spies on them. Scratch sees a guy with purple pants. The trap is sprung, and Sonic spin dashes through the crate to save the human, saving a guy with weird black hair who tells Sonic to save him slower because speed gives him a headache. Sonic calls him out that speed just saved him from Robotnik, and the idiot says that he doesn't need Sonic's help when he clearly did. I hope he gets roboticized, but sadly the show is no guts. It seems like everything about this monster is going to ruin the episode.
Ever think about plastic surgery to fix those, freaky tails? What?
He insults Tails' tails, hates chili dogs and rudely insults them, and trips Tails. So he's Sonic's opposite. Was I really expected to believe Sonic would ask this jerk to have chili dogs with him? Why would you want to befriend this guy? That's so forced. Tails asks why Robotnik would want Easy Eddie to be captured. I mean, I like the idea that he's Sonic's opposite, a human who hates chili dogs and Tails' tails and speed. But it turns out Robotnik just wants his ring so he can conquer the planet. The ring has the most powerful Chaos Emerald on Mobius. When Robotnik puts the Emerald Ring in the pedestal on a part of Mobius, he'll be able to sink any part of Mobius into the sea, and make all of Mobius surrender instantly. This is interesting, a 5th emerald. Thought there was only 4 in the show. So that's impressive. Robotnik hates him for stealing that ring from his pocket. That doesn't make Eddie a good character. Tails asks where his coin is, implying that Easy Eddie bumped into him and somehow stole it from his sock all the way down on his foot without being noticed. I hate that trope. Tails would have felt him picking his sock. So like Sonic with his disguises, he has a completely inexplicable ability. Then Easy Eddie distracts a kid waiting for a school bus ruffling his hair and steals his apple without him noticing somehow, in a major kick the dog moment. Robotnik plans to send out a blast of sleeping gas on Eddie, which works. Then he tells the robots to scoop Eddie into something with their eggmobiles, but Sonic replaces Eddie with something heavy and splashes Eddie with water, because it's too early in the episode for Eddie to be kidnapped when logically it should have been. Eddie insists he can handle himself. Sonic takes back Tails' lucky coin, and Eddie refuses to tell him why Robotnik's after him. If this was a good show, Eddie would completely get what he deserves, because that's basic common sense when writing a villain. Remember the laser-guided karma Robotnik got in Robotnik Land? Scratch and Grounder are punished for failure because their eggmobiles crashed onto the ground, and because lazy writing, they talk about Robotnik's plan to each other again when they should already know about it, just so Sonic can learn about it. It would have made more sense to just have Eddie tell Sonic the truth instead of padding out the episode. Eddie wants to make a deal with Robotnik to get rich, and it turns out the ring is stuck on his finger. This is why I hate rings in real life. Robotnik says he'll destroy the forest if he doesn't get the ring quick enough, and sends fire below him, reducing parts of the forest to a wasteland with cracked ground. Like Sadie M. Robotnik when he took over Mobitropolis. See, this guy could be a lot more of a threat if they let him, if he wasn't restrained because it's a comedy show. Why didn't he do this to every forest? Eddie doesn't care about saving Mobius, even though he's living in it, and Sonic has to tell him that Robotnik will make Mobius a terrible place for him. Robotnik calls out Scratch and Grounder on not appreciating their abusive boss, and not asking how they can help or saying thank you. It sounds like he's giving them a "the reason you suck" speech, only not as good because of this show. but instead he just sends them out against Sonic instead of finally dismantling them. With his speech, it's like they're trying to portray him as right, when obviously they're not, because he's a bad guy. But like his speech is written as if he's right, and they're horrible, horrible employees, when he doesn't know about the times they betrayed him. Then Eddie tries to steal Professor Vaughn's wallet, and Sonic wants Vaughn to use inventions to get the ring off him, like a finger expander. For some reason, he just now thinks to lubricate him with grease so the ring will slide right off. However, he slips on a puddle and Tails can't get the ring off, somehow. Then Vaughn says that his invention will cut something off his finger with a laser, but for no reason at all, the laser goes everywhere except where it's supposed to. Well, at least that's less dark than the more predictable way of it going wrong, which is the laser cutting off its finger, which you'd expect from a crazy scientist's invention. Good, we see him slide on a puddle into a machine, and it explodes, and he hits the previous machine and gets electrocuted until the ring magically falls off him. Vaughn says he has to try something else because its pride is at stake, telling them to put the ring back on Eddie. That's both kind of amusing and stupid. Eddie sends Sonic and Vaughn into a machine to spin them around and runs out of the room. Tails uses the lever to free them, and then Eddie runs into Scratch and Grounder, damaging them, and tells Robotnik that for a zillion Mobiums, which is probably more money than exists on the planet, he'll give him the ring. How stupid and desperate is he to think that Robotnik would actually give him real money like that, more money than probably exists on the planet, in exchange for the ring? Of course he has counterfeit money. Worst money ever if he figures out it's fake right away. He should have been a bit less obvious about it. I guess he didn't really care though. Then he's thrown in a dungeon. That's still not enough to make up for his part in this episode. And more importantly, that money really shouldn't have logically existed. I mean, why would he bother with it? He can't spend it on anything because everyone knows it's fake. I mean, he hasn't taken over the world yet, so why leave money that's unusable lying around? He could have just kidnapped him. He didn't need to use fake money to lure him somewhere. Robotnik goes to the weird-looking zone, and because of absolute bullshit, Sonic finds Robotnik in a place that he has no reason to know to go to for an extremely anticlimactic victory right away. It's especially unsatisfying because Robotnik asks Sonic how he knew to come there, and Sonic doesn't properly answer him. This episode sucks. That was a condescendingly easy conclusion. Eddie escapes the dungeon off screen because he borrowed a key, speaking of laziness. I guess Scratch is incompetent, but we should have seen that, and not seen Robotnik yelling at his robots. Again. Seriously, there's over 20 minutes of Robotnik insulting his robots in the show. Like, all combined. Sonic throws the ring in the water, and out of nowhere, Eddie gives up stealing and gives Tails back what he stole. Fuck this episode! This writing makes no sense! What was his target demographic, 4-year-olds? They really think we wouldn't question this? Oh, just because they want us to know that stealing is wrong, they make the thief magically stop stealing for no reason. Just brainwash him and that'd make more sense. I bet even Sonic Boom is written better, and that's trying to be an internet parody like Sonic F, but not— well, I haven't watched it, but I'm sure it's not nearly as funny as Sonic F. Oh yeah, and the Sonic Says section is about the Captain Obvious message that— no, it's not about stealing and it being wrong. That would have something to do with the episode. Instead, it's about the Captain Obvious message that you have to eat to live. Again, fuck this episode. How stupid do they think I am? I can't believe some people think this is the perfect tone for the entire series. That the entire series should be like this and appeal to the absolute lowest common denominator and nobody else. I don't need to be told that I have to eat breakfast. This kind of message would if anything, appeal more to adults who would rush out the home to go to work faster. It wouldn't be— this is a show for kids, and this is a message for kids. Well, this was shit. The episode had promising potential, introducing Sonic's opposite, a rude human who hates chili dogs and speed and is a pickpocket. So he's evil and has his own ridiculous ability, shouldn't be allowed to get away with it that easily, to contrast Sonic's disguises. I was also really intrigued that they were introducing a 5th Chaos Emerald, the most powerful one that's connected to a ring stuck on Eddie's finger. A ring got stuck on my finger once, so I can relate to that. So they try various inventions of Vaughn's to get the ring off him. However, it all goes downhill from here, not that it was good to begin with, considering that Eddie was extremely annoying right from the start without being a really competent villain other than his minor thefts. Somehow he loses his ring in the most ridiculous way imaginable, though at least it was after some karma was dealt to him. Then after he gets kidnapped thanks to a bad deal with Robotnik, he escapes off-screen, and Sonic knowing where to go to stop Robotnik is the most condescendingly unsatisfying victory in the history of the entire series. There was never any indication that Sonic knew where exactly the pedestal for the 5th Emerald was. That wasn't enjoyable, and Robotnik lampshading how he shouldn't know to go here just makes it even worse that Sonic didn't answer his question. And Robotnik then cemented the unsatisfying victory with his catchphrase again as Sonic runs away. The plot completely falls apart at some point, and I hated Eddie as a character. And the fact that they try to redeem him way too easily just makes it worse because I feel like I'm not allowed to hate him because he gets nice all of a sudden, and the heroes forgive him way too easily because they want to. So it's like, I'm not allowed to hate him anymore. I'm not supposed to hate him anymore. Like, they could have at least explained that he had terrible parents and he had to steal to get the presents that he wanted, and that's why he's a pickpocket. But they don't do anything to make him sympathetic until the very end. And again, obviously, Robotnik should have been allowed to succeed in his threat to sink continents plan. He shouldn't have actually sunk a continent, but just the threat. He would be better off in a more powerful position. Make us hate him more. Make us root for Sonic as the underdog more. The series as a whole works better like that. Comedy show or not, you can still make Robotnik funny and powerful. And my whole problem with the show is summed up beautifully with the Sonic Says message. They think its target audience is so stupid that they need to be told to eat.